Once upon a time, in the glorious kingdom of Surasena, there ruled a mighty and wise king named Chitraketu. His court was filled with prosperity, his people were content, and his fame reached the heavens. Yet, amidst this grandeur, a shadow of sorrow loomed over his heart. He had no children. Despite having hundreds of queens, none could bear him an heir. The desire for a son grew so deep that it eclipsed every other joy in his life. The king, despite all his power, felt incomplete. Moved by his plight, the revered sage Angiras visited the court. He saw through the king's pain and offered him a solution. With blessings and sacred chants, he gave Chitraketu a divine fruit and instructed him to give it to his most virtuous queen, Kritadyuti. Months passed, and Kritadyuti gave birth to a radiant son. The kingdom erupted in celebration, and Chitraketu believed his life was finally fulfilled. But where joy blooms, jealousy often lurks. The other queens, burning with envy and grief over their own barrenness, conspired against Kritadyuti. In a cruel and secret act, they poisoned the infant. The child's sudden death brought unimaginable despair. Kritadyuti collapsed with grief, and Chitraketu was shattered. The entire palace turned from celebration to mourning. The once radiant halls of Surasena were now cloaked in darkness. At this moment of despair, sage Narada and sage Angiras returned. Instead of offering more rituals or miracles, they offered wisdom. They reminded Chitraketu that the soul is eternal, that births and deaths are like seasons to the Atman. In a mystical act, they temporarily brought the soul of the departed child back to consciousness. Through the child's mouth, the soul spoke, revealing that it had been born countless times, had countless parents, and that this particular life was just one fleeting stop in an endless journey. It asked, "Who are you really mourning?" These words pierced Chitraketu's heart. His sorrow dissolved into awakening. He realized the impermanence of life, the illusion of worldly attachments, and the eternal nature of the soul. With deep gratitude, he renounced his kingdom and embraced the path of spiritual knowledge. He meditated, traveled through sacred lands, and was eventually blessed by Lord Vishnu with the knowledge of cosmic truth. He rose to become the king of the Vidyadharas, celestial beings known for their wisdom and magical powers. But destiny wasn't done with him yet. Once, while journeying across the celestial realms, Chitraketu came upon a divine assembly, where Lord Shiva was seated with Goddess Parvati, in a deeply affectionate pose. Parvati was resting on his lap. This sacred intimacy, though symbolic of the divine unity of masculine and feminine energy, caught Chitraketu by surprise. Laughing softly, he commented on how a great ascetic like Lord Shiva could display such public affection. His words, though casual, were tinged with pride, born of spiritual accomplishment. Goddess Parvati, protector of Dharma and embodiment of divine strength, was not amused. Though Lord Shiva smiled and dismissed the comment, Parvati saw it as arrogance masked in laughter. She cursed Chitraketu to be born as a Rakshasa, a demon, so that he would learn the true humility that comes from knowing the divine in all forms. But Chitraketu was unshaken. With folded hands and a serene smile, he accepted the curse with grace. He thanked Parvati for the lesson and the path it would unfold. In his next life, he was born as Vritrasura, a fearsome demon who would one day challenge the gods themselves. Yet even in that terrifying form, the heart of a devotee beat strong. Vritrasura was deeply devoted to Lord Vishnu, and even as he stood on the battlefield against Indra, king of the gods, he chanted the Lord's name with love. When Indra struck him down with the divine weapon Vajra, forged from the bones of sage Dadichi, Vritrasura smiled. His liberation had come. In that moment of death he merged with the Supreme, fulfilling the divine plan that began, with sorrow, passed through wisdom, and ended in blissful union. If you enjoyed this story, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mythology Medley. Click the bell icon for more such amazing mythological content.